so I know that you're here. I'll give everyone a minute. Just say hi, so I know you're present, please. And also, of course, put a like and retweet this, share this on Twitter, please, so more people can watch it. Anyway, here I am, as always, in Dubai. Just posted my market update and analysis on Patreon. I will be sharing it, as always, in the comments in the section once this live is over if you want to join. Let's talk about basically what's happening in the markets. So we know historically we are in an accumulation phase, the macro accumulation phase, right? So historically, if you just let go of trying to catch the bottom, this is the area where you start buying, where anyone starts buying, where one starts buying, where I start buying, basically. This is the area, right? When coins like XRP have dropped 70%, and if they drop further, you keep accumulating. And when Bitcoin has dropped over 50%, if it drops lower, you keep accumulating without trying to catch the bottom. So I am already, as you well know by now, 20% in the market. So, you know, after having sold 90% of my portfolio when Bitcoin was trading at roughly $108,000 and XRP at $2.52, I've now taken, out of the 90% profit I've taken 20% from there, and I've bought Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum. Now I'm looking to add another 30%. So at that point, I'll be 50% into the market. If you're interested in what I'm doing and what I'm doing it and getting educational content, join the Patreon and explain everything there. If you remember, of course, you will know when I'm buying, and I always explain the reasoning behind it. Like, for example, when we're selling close to the top just recently, a few months ago, I was explaining my reasoning, why basically we're getting out of the market. You know, the reasons were quite simple, right? I shared them on Twitter also, but just got into more detail on them on Patreon in terms of charts. But some of the reasons were because Ethereum is the main altcoin, was being weak and doing nothing. Instead of reaching 5K, it was dropping under 4K. Precious metals were taking off, and I was expecting them to take off after an alt season, but it started happening before, which told me that there would be no alt season. You know, Bitcoin had already pumped a lot. So in addition to other red flags, it was time to get out of the market, which is why we did. And now once everything has dropped, I'm interested in buying. You know, the way I think about it, I would rather buy earlier after a big drop than basically have a big portion of my portfolio sidelined and not have it in the market, the portion that I'm willing to risk, you know, what I call the accumulation budget. So, you know, right now I'm looking to add another 30% so that I'll be 50% into the market with my accumulation budget for risk on markets. I am in the process of deciding when that's going to happen. We just need the market to develop a little bit further. I'm looking for basically bottoming structures, historic bottoming structures that Bitcoin has delivered in the past, to see whether or not I will buy sooner or if I'm going to wait for a drop. That depends on whether or not I see a bottom formation coming in. And if it comes in, I will start buying there. I'll have to buy a little bit higher, but I'm fine with that. I'm not here to catch bottoms, like I said, but to just buy a little low after a big drop. And if I don't see a bottom being formed, I'm just gonna wait for a drop and go in heavier there. At any point, you know, I might do it all of a sudden. Once again, if you're my member, you will know about it. You will get the reasoning and educational explanations behind it. If I see something in the market that I'm not seeing right now, like for example, when we're just buying Bitcoin at 64K and XRP at $1.18, you know, I was up for like nearly 5 hours just to make sure that I'm monitoring everything live, and I shared with you everything live. Same thing might happen at any point. So if you're a member, make sure you're reading all the updates and all the explanations in case I'm not there, so that you learn, right? The main thing is that you learn, that you're able to do the stuff without me. Right now we're trying to figure out, basically, once again, we're looking at typical Bitcoin bottom structures, and we want to see some kind of signs of reversal, which we're not seeing for now. Yet I'm 20% in the market, and soonish enough, I'll add another 30%, depending on what the market is going to do. From there on out, the other 50%, will be basically either there's a way I want to go about it that I can't really talk about publicly, but once again I'll mention it on Patreon the way I will go about it. For now I'm concentrating on that. For me, this is once again the macro accumulation phase, the phase meaning that it's no longer the time to be scared for me, but it's or cautious. It's time to start buying, and the more fear there is and the bigger crash is, to go all in. The way I see it, the way it has been in the past always, never try to catch the bottom, because the way it usually happens when you buy, you usually get another drop and your portfolio is temporary at the loss, maybe even quite a big loss. But all you can do is just hold and wait for time to pass and for the price appreciation to come in. Like for example, back in the day in the first cycle when we're buying Bitcoin already at like 6K, and then it dropped like roughly 50K again to $3,000 something. It did not make 6K not a good entry. It was generally a good entry still, but it still was down at one point like 50%, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. Don't try to time bottoms or tops. It's not going to end well because no one has been able to do that consistently, and no one ever will be. So just buy low, sell high. That's pretty much it. International Crypto Asset Ninja, good to see you, my friend. Ian Cairns, good to see you. Peter, good to see you too. Good to see you, my friend. So yeah, I'm here just to share my view on the markets, and the points are I'm looking for bottoming structures for proof of them based on technical analysis. I'm 20% in. Soonish I'll be 30% in, maybe even more, maybe 60 or 65% in. That's pretty soonish. Yeah, and I think this is the macro accumulation phase, like I said. If you have any questions before I bounce, let me know. Just wait a minute. I'll just wait a minute to see if you have anything to ask.
I think I will.
Yeah, I am once again at the local park, in Dubai. People are walking around having a good time. Here, take a look for yourself. So yeah, I don't know what you see on the news. It's very safe, no problems. Yeah, currently kids are not going to school, but other than that, everything is great. TT, good to see you here. Key Sync, you're asking how high can XRP go? I'm not gonna comment on that because I'm done with price targets. I'm just gonna buy low, and then after a certain period of time when it's up enough, I'm gonna sell. And it doesn't matter what the price is. Price targets, they ruin everything. They're very exciting. They get a lot of clicks, a lot of views. But I already said several times, for like 2 years, I was monitoring pretty much every single big profile out there, including myself. I look at the price targets, look at the technical analysis, and the success rate is like 5%. 95% roughly of all price targets failed in all cycles. So why would you want to, base anything based on price targets? Just get rid of price targets. XRP is down roughly 70%. Start buying. Start buying here and lower if you get a chance. And diversify in other coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Buy after big crashes, hold. And then once the price appreciation comes in, regardless of what the price is, just sell and take profit. Don't listen to people that talk about price targets. All XRP price targets have failed repeatedly, except my price target, which was at 15 cents when it was like back in the day when people were saying that XRP is going to 589. I was saying it's going to go to 15 cents. We were trading at roughly $3. And it did go to 15 cents. The bottom was at 10 cents. That's the only XRP price prediction that came true. All the other price predictions, mine and anybody else's, that were based, on higher targets and new highs, all of them failed. So just get rid of them. Get rid of them. Buy, hold, sell whatever the price is several years in. That's it. Buy, wait for several years, sell for profit. BK is asking, how long do you think the accumulation phase will be typical? I think it should be typical as usual. Take hundreds of days, but that once again depends on bottoming formations. For me, mainly, I want to see if I see some kind of bottom formation being built. If that's the case and I see it, I will start taking on a lot more risk and buying more. And if I don't see a bottom being built, I'm just gonna wait until I see a crash and then buy. So in terms of how long it's going to take, well, like I said, time frames are a secondary metric. They're only important when they align with several other factors, right? So But to answer that, same as usual, let's say, unless we see something different happening in the market like we did last cycle when Ethereum was not going into price discovery mode. So it was like this alert going off in my head that it's time to get out of the market, because at that point in time it was flying and making new highs and going parabolic. It was not doing that. It was underperforming. So it was time to get out, right? So unless we see something different happen, that's my point. RTF, once again, you got a point there. I see exactly what you mean. Yes, I agree with you, but I want to see what's happening in terms of a bottom being built, right? It's not just about time metrics. Yes, I did sell also one of the main factors, as you well know, was the roughly 4-year cycle, give or take. So it doesn't have to be exactly 4 years. It can be 3 years and 9 months or 4 years and 4 months, right? But we're roughly there at 4 years, 3 years and 10 months, I believe. And it was time to get out, you know, because at that point in time metric mattered because several other factors were coming in at the same time, right? So we basically had roughly 4-year cycle in, Ethereum underperforming, gold going parabolic, silver going parabolic, breakouts in stock indexes like Japan that were dead for like 40 years, you know, going parabolic. So there were a lot of signs to get out of the market, right? And it was the right call. So now we're just going to be looking for several factors at the same time also, not just a time metric. All right, my friends. As always, I'm going to leave the link to my Patreon in the comments once this live is done uploading. Join if you want to read the latest market update that was just published. If you join, I suggest you read like the last 7 market updates. It won't take you long. It will take you maybe like 20-30 minutes. And please kind of put a like and share this on Twitter so we get more viewers. Thank you for your time. Wish you all the very best, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Probably I'll publish another market update and do another live. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Take care, guys. Stay safe.